Okay guys, so I was asked to do a tour of pretty much all of my horse stuff. Now, the way that my barn works is we get a shelf um, that's just in the hallway uh, because I'm the only boarder here now that everyone's gone. I'm the only one that really has a shelf. Everything else is all Susan and Larry stuff. But you can also have a tack box, which that's mine down there. And then you also get a spot in the tack room for your saddles and your bridle and whatnot. Um, but just because it's not a terribly large tack room. I mean, we could fit so much more stuff in there, but because it's not that big, and when we did have a lot of people, we didn't want all the tack boxes in there, so we just lined them up along here. Uh, we didn't keep them in the tack room just for that reason. So I'm gonna do this in 4 parts. First part, the shelf. The second part, the tack box. The third is probably gonna be the tack room, which I'll bring it out here because the tack room's really dark, and that probably won't be a very good video. And then the fourth part will be my medicine bag, which is in my tack box. But because there's so much stuff in there, I can't do one whole video with all of it. It'll just take way too long. So I'm going to do it in 4 parts. That way it's smaller and more concise. So the first thing that I have on my shelf is my Biotin 100 powder. If you guys saw my hoof care video, this is the same bucket from that. If you want any information on that, go ahead and check that video out. I'll probably annotate it where the biotin was sitting and leave a link in the description for mobile users. Next thing I have here is my Bronco fly spray. Bronco is my favorite. I love the smell of it, and I think it works the best. Other people have different preferences. This one's mine. The next thing I have is my squeezy buns, which Susan and Larry got me for my birthday back in March. They're kind of like the cookies that I make for Bugsy, which I might do a video on those too. Making those whenever I do that again. They're just a little bit harder. But she really enjoys them. I only have 2 left, which I'm probably going to have to get some more soon. The next thing I have is my Mana Pro Apple Nuggets. I got this back in December whenever I did that small tack haul. Might have been January. I don't remember. But this is a 5-pound bag or a 2.7 kilogram bag, depending on where you are. And I have barely made a dent in it. It's still quite full. It's probably still a little under 5 pounds. So, as you can tell, guys, I don't feed treats very often at all. Where can I put this so it's out of the way? There we go. The next I have is kind of obscure. Every horse has that thing that they like that's human food. Bugsy's is Cheerios. She likes all things, pretty much. Pretty much anything you can feed her, she will eat. I was eating a chicken sandwich the other day, and she wanted my chicken sandwich. She's a horse, but yet she wanted my chicken sandwich. I don't know what was wrong with her. But her thing is Cheerios, and I'll feed her her biotin through with this if we are out of Thrive. Put that down there. So the next thing I have here is this little black crate. Now what I use this little black crate for, not only to hold these 3 curry combs, why I have 3, I have no idea, but I do. I take my brushes home when I'm going to clean them in this because it's easier to bring this than this big red tote. Also, my big red tote gets a lot dirtier than this does because this just gets dust on it that you can just wipe off. But yeah, I don't know why I have 3. I think it's because we had 1 for each horse at the ranch, and I just ended up with all 3 of them. So now we're going to go over what's in my grooming tote itself. I just have this red grooming tote. So in this first pocket, which this isn't put together like it normally is, because I just shoved everything back in here after I bathed Bugsy. I've used this for a minute. I have my Decker rubber curry comb. These are my favorite. They get through Bugsy's fur the best. Then I have my Grip Fit Real Horsehair Soft Brush. This is just a plastic base. But it's also a finishing brush. I don't use it for that. I just use it to it gets her hair off better than my hard brush does. So that's all that's in that slot. You see what I mean by it's very dirty in there? So these next things are all from a mailing thing that I had when I was 9. So this is her face curry, which is a softer curry. I don't use it very often. But if I do need to curry her face off, I'll use this just because it's softer and she doesn't need a hard curry on her face. Then I have this little soft face brush that's real horsehair with a real wood back with a little insignia on it. And this one I actually use on her feet because it's a little bit harder than the other one. And this is the one I use on her face. Again, real horsehair, real hardwood back with pony insignia on it. It's also on the back. It's upside down. Why do I keep doing that? And this I use way more than I use her face curry. Then I have a comb, which I don't actually use to comb my horse's hair. I use it to clean out my brushes. You can either use a comb or you can use one of the metal curry combs to clean out the hair out of your brushes. Just kind of depends on how I'm feeling that day. I have a rubber band. Why is that in there? That shouldn't be in there. I have her extremely dirty hoof pick. I probably should clean off. But it's the Oster one. And it's the only Oster product that I like. The brushes and the squeegee, or not the squeegee, the sweat scraper. I'm trying to think, and the mane and tail brush, I don't really like. I'm not really a fan of them, just for whatever reason. But I like these ones because they're hard, like they're thick metal, and they don't bend. Whereas the ones that are... No, I don't think Waco's hoof pick is over here anymore. But Waco has a hoof pick that has the little brush on the end of it with the little horse head at the bottom. I don't really like those just because they bend really easily. So the next thing I have here is my Evolutionary Horse or Hoof Care Radius Rasp 2 Pro. The black one. The white one is Radius Rasp Pro 1. This one has the bigger file on it, so it's not a fine file, it's a large file. And what I mean by that is if I grab this rasp here, so this one is like this side where it's got the bigger pieces. The fine one looks more like that, where it's a lot smaller, and that's to just kind of smooth everything out, make it smoother. But this one works just fine. I will take Bugsy's feet because she's barefoot. This is perfect for that because it has that rounded shape. And I'll just take her feet down a little bit if she's getting flares, which I probably should be doing today, but I might not just because I can't be bothered right now. But it's good to have for flares up that come out on the horse's foot and just smooth it out in between farrier visits. The next I have is my tail tamers. I almost said mane and tail. My tail tamers red hard brush. You could also call it a dandy brush or a body brush, whatever you prefer. And it used to be like a mud brush because it was so hard, but it's softened up over the years, so it's more of a dandy brush now. Then I have her Clear Basics, just regular mane and tail brush. This is for actual human hair, but I use it on her. I personally don't like combs. Like, this is an Oster comb. I don't like using combs on horses' manes because Bugsy has so much mane and it takes too long. And if you start at the bottom and work your way up, you don't lose a lot of hairs. Like, if you can see the hair that's coming off the brush, I just brushed her tail and her mane today, and that's all that I got out. So I don't get that many hairs out, and even if I do, she's got so much that it doesn't really matter. Alright, and the last thing that I have in here, as you can see, there's nothing else. I have my metal sweat scraper / shedding blade, which is covered in hair because I used it to bathe last weekend and didn't rinse it off because I'm an idiot. But this is more of a summer thing. I prefer it over the metal curries just because the hair doesn't get stuck in this. But I don't like the rubber squeegees all that much. I don't know. It's just what I grew up with, so I'm used to it. But yeah, so that's everything that was on my shelf. Like I said, the next thing will be my tack box, which I might do today, I might not, I don't know. We'll find out. But we're gonna do it there, guys.